scan the code, or just go to menti.com and insert the code you see on the screen. And I will switch a little bit back to Mentimeter so that I can start the quiz. Let me see. Can you see? We have now 21 already connected. Can you see the screen, please?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, perfect. So already proactive. Which country are you? We see Spain, Italy, Hungary. A lot of people today with us from different countries, and we are happy to see this. Okay, let's wait for everybody. We are more than 100 participants today, so let's see who's joining in. I can't believe Romania, it's so big, and also France, Italy. I'm pretty sure also Germany and Bulgaria. Okay. So happy to see that we are from everywhere, almost everywhere. Okay, nice. And if you didn't manage to go to Mentimeter so far, you just need to scan the code here or go to menti.com and use this number to get into the quiz. What do you say? Do you want me to hit the next question? I will very shortly. Thank you for submitting the country you are from. And what do you consider? Collaboration and peer-to-peer learning is a good key to progress? So we all like to learn by doing and learn from each other. Let's see, not sure, okay. You are okay also to say no? So a lot of yes, definitely. Okay. Thank you very much for being honest and for joining the quiz. I'm switching now to the next question, which might be a little bit hard, but can CCI substantially contribute to regional development? What's your opinion? Can we put culture and creativity to work so that our regions can develop more, and why not faster? So a lot of yes, also I'm not sure, and it's okay, but no no's. Thank you also for answering this question. And what do you think about cross-sectoral collaboration? Do you think if we collaborate between us, between sectors, innovation might come easier? This is not just a selection answer. I will ask you kindly to write your answer in the chat you see in Menti. Your opinions matter to us, so that's why we are asking this. You can also say why if you are inspired to insert a long answer. So this is the only way. I agree to that. We can learn from other sectors and improve our product and services. Yes, indeed. Definitely combination of perspectives. Meeting different cultural points of view. Yes, of course. Open-minded project, different points of view. Exactly. Innovation is about seeing something existing with new eyes. So yes, definitely yes. Different experience and expertise. Yes, if we collaborate with different sectors, we can get expertise which we never thought to put in action. It allows different point of views. Hybridizing sectors can only produce innovation. Indeed, learn best practices from other industries, of course. We can learn from other sectors. So it seems like we have a lot of common opinions. So I thank you for that. Please feel free to add more. Essential to innovation. Usually, yes, the best innovation that happened in the history came out of cross-sectoral collaboration. So a lot of yes, yes, yes. Avoid getting stuck in mere guessing, of course. Brings together people who think in different ways and lead to more comprehensive and challenging results. Thank you for this answer. Okay, thanks a lot. I hope you'll enjoy this Mentimeter. I will close it now and switch back to our presentation. And thank you a lot for the interactive answers. And now I will make bigger the screen. I hope everything is okay.
Yes.
And I will start this session with a big question. Why we do this knowledge sharing sessions? Not only because we have a project and we wrote down that we are going to do it. It's just because in CR..UN Heritage, we all believe that peer-to-peer learning is a powerful tool, because this creates an interactive platform for mutual learning. We also learn a lot from each other, the partners inside the CR..UN Heritage Eurocluster, and we really hope that you can also learn from our guests today, but also between you, because the matchmaking that is going to follow has also this objective, and I really hope that you together can collaborate and learn a lot based on your experience. Of course, if we collaborate, we can also enhance the regional identity, not only the identity, but also the results of our regions and how we progress. But of course, we all have challenges and we look for opportunity, and we also depend on policy and implementation. That's why we want to address this today with our guests and see how we can learn from each other. But of course, we can also learn from cross-sector innovation cases and also best practices, and see how interregional collaboration can be encouraged. I hope at the end of this session, we can all identify opportunities, if not for future projects, why not only for friends? I think it will be a very big gain for all of us. And because we also have an agenda, in the following minutes, we are going to listen to our guests. The first one will be Cristina Baghiu from Digital Innovation Zone, Romania. Then we'll have Mr. Evdokimos Fregou from the Greater Athens region, Mr. Akos Volgi, I'm sorry if I'm not saying the name correctly, from Central Transdanubian Regional Innovation Agency, Miss Mara Tognon from Veneto region, she is a senior officer there, and Maria Teresa Dalbo, which is a digital curator and cultural designer in the Italian Ministry of Culture. Of course, we are going to end this session with a Q&A, but please, like Caterina said, feel free to address questions in the chat until the Q&A session. So thank you for listening so far to me, and I will give the floor first to Cristina Baghiu, which, like I said, she is the coordinator, but also the co-founder of Digital Innovation Zone from Iași, Romania, which is the leading Romanian first fully operational European Digital Innovation Hub. She's also the founder of Atelierul de Idei, the specialized digital culture and innovation agency. But what you will hear from her, it's the expertise, the precious expertise she has in creative and cross-sector approaches to digital transformation and cultural innovation. Cristina, thank you for joining us today, and the floor is yours. I will stop sharing so you can share your presentation.
so much. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm puzzled by the number of people watching here. So it's definitely a hot topic: how to cross innovate, how to cross collaborate, how to innovate in such an important and human sector. I will share my presentation, and I will not keep too much of your time. Do you see my presentation? Is it okay? Great.
It's okay if you can make
Great.
it bigger.
Yes, I think it
Perfect.
is as big as possible. So,
Yeah.
as Georgiana was saying, we are an EDIH. Maybe you have not heard that before. It's an European Digital Innovation Hub. We are located in northeast Romania, and we are one of the pioneers of this sector. Actually, it's almost 4 years now. Then we are organized as a European Digital Innovation Hub, and we have learned a lot. And what I'm about to share with you is part of our successes, but also experience so far. We are working with all types of organizations, from public sector to startups, from artificial intelligence to cybersecurity to digital transformation as a strategy, or let's say to um, less visible technologies like Internet of Things. But what we want actually to do is to support our region, the organizations within Northeast Romania region, to scale to Europe. So this is the mantra of our activities. It's made in Romania, but it should belong in Europe. Just a little bit of an overview. In Romania, there are 7 European Digital Innovation Hubs, and all over Europe, there are, I think, more than 250 at this point. Each European Digital Innovation Hub is different. So this is us here at the very east part of Europe. Everyone is prioritizing the sectors that are relevant for the region. When we started, we couldn't say that, I don't know, manufacturing is more relevant than public institutions or than healthcare. So we try to understand how to support cross-sector, cross-industry, cross-technology, the digital transformation and the innovation per se. Because, well, we already proved that we are in a country that usually in all the statistics has the lowest digital economy and society index in Europe. We're not known as an innovative country. We are also in a country where the innovation radars, the European statistics also say that there is not so much innovation there, not so much IP is created in Romania. So we tried to prove them wrong, and I think we did, because in less than 1 year and something, we supported with complex innovation and digital transformation services over 100 of organizations. We assessed the level of digital maturity for 340 something organizations, and we actually delivered services in a value of over 4 million euros, supporting them to get more money or access to capital for their innovation funding. And what is important here is that we are looking into technologies that will remain relevant for a long term. So we are looking into supporting the organizations we are working with artificial intelligence or cybersecurity or quantum technology, something that is not only trendy but is relevant for the future of work. So what have we learned is that no organization can, let's say, can cover all their needs from only one source of funding. So in your case, probably most of you are looking to get the money from this very interesting consortium and project in heritage, but definitely there are different sources of funding that you should be looking, because your bigger picture is more complex. Sometimes administrative processes need simplification to match innovation speed, and the organizations, either small and medium enterprises like yourself probably, or bigger and public institutions benefit most from guided transformation journeys, not from a standalone activity or a service. So there is no technology, no service, no single source of funding that can support all the needs. So you need to have like a holistic approach. This is like where we started. We have 4 catalogs of services for community building, test before invest, cultural and digital competencies, and innovation support for digitalization and R&D. Unfortunately, they are in Romanian, but just to make you understand what we are doing for the organizations in our region. And with whom we are working again cross-industry. We are working again not from only one organization. We have 13 entities that are committed to support the region, from technical universities to regional development agencies, clusters in health, University of Arts, universities of life sciences, so very, very diverse. Well, enough with the bragging. So what actually we are doing, and I have presented you a case study of a real large regional museum network with, I think, a very relevant situation and initial challenge. The problem is that after the pandemic, younger public was not visiting so much the museums that were not, let's say, digitalized or modern. The digital presence of the museum is limited to static websites or different sources of information. You need to click in several pages to find some updated information. And of course, they wanted to introduce advanced technologies. They have visited other museums. They learned about AR, VR, 3D object scanning, interactive maps to modernize storytelling. So they are planning to budget physical kiosks for the visitors to find their way in the museum. Yet there are, again, a lot of challenges they have not uncovered yet. One is, are we ready for this? Do we have the internal capacity to handle all this digital stack? Very, very complex. Then, are our visitors ready for this? We don't know. Maybe the normal grandmothers with the young children, they will not know how to use AR, VR, or different high-tech solutions. And is it something that we don't know? Are there any vulnerabilities that we are exposing? Because now we are, or we will be very, 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 very digitalized, and the cyber attackers can have different entry points towards us. How to address that? What we are doing is we have a structured way of working with them, not only from only one organization. As I have presented you in the previous slide, there are several expert teams working with one customer. We have the tech experts, usually from a technical university, and we have the domain experts. And here, of course, the entry point was to understand where they are. So we performed the digital maturity assessment, and then we were looking into the topic from 3 areas: the technology part, the societal validation, and cybersecurity preparedness. I will go very, very quickly through them. The phase 1 was to create the digital platform. Of course, to do a 3D scanning of delicate physical heritage objects, to design interactive virtual reality tours, to deploy contextual augmented reality modules in the museums via QR codes, to ensure that the whole digital ecosystem is on a secure web and mobile application. And this was performed by the technical experts from the university that we are working with. But in parallel to that, we were very focused on the society readiness validation of the technology, because we have seen that, and probably this is also valid for you, expensive hardware or expensive museum hardware that sits and it gathers dust. It's not actually used because the users don't understand how, it's too complicated, or the employees don't know how to explain it. So we hosted in a living lab real-world visitor trials. We co-created the tours with real museum visitors. We tested the AR interfaces and the VR headsets, and we understood what type of visitors engage in what type of experiences. We understood the frictions, non-technical adoption barriers, maybe users' confusion regarding role navigation. As I said, the average grandmother maybe would not like to have this headset or explain or click on several digital platforms. And of course, we documented this data, helping the technical developers from phase one to adapt the technology to the real societal readiness needs. And last but not the least, we did the cybersecurity assessment and staff training, because now they had dozens of new internet connected devices, QR hubs. You cannot imagine that a hacker goes into the museum and sticks on the QR code, the official QR code of the museum, sticks his QR code that leads you to a bad website that wants to steal the data. This is happening. So we tried to solve all these risks. And here again, other type of experts, other type of industry came in, and they evaluated the network's critical IT nodes. They built threat prevention profiles, and of course, they went with museum staff to intensive cybersecurity hygiene training to manage everything that can happen. Where do I want to reach as a conclusion for this is that we made like a proof that digital culture cannot be achieved by getting only the hardware and the technology. It's not like dropping tech into a vacuum. No, you need to adapt also the context, the users, and of course the employee to the new situation. And we are very happy with what we achieved. And I hope it reaches a lot of ideas or questions for you. This is my contact. Please add me on LinkedIn if you want to keep the discussion going. You have also my email. We can, I don't know, maybe be a partner in your implementation of your project. And I'm looking forward to learn more about you.
Thank you very much, Christina. Very interesting information. I'm so curious about the cyber security part. I really hope to learn a lot from you, and I'm pretty sure also the audience has a lot of questions. Please feel free to address them in chat, but also keep in mind that we are going to have the Q&A session at the end. We will try to respond your question in the chat until the session. But until then, we will invite the next speaker, which is Mr. Evdokimos Fregoglu, project coordinator for the Greater Athens regions, and he's a cultural heritage and destination management professional with over 10 years experience, specialized in regional development, tourism, and EU-funded projects. His superpower are strategic planning, destination marketing, digital innovation, and the development of cultural roots and creative economy projects. Mr. Evdokimos, the floor is yours, and I really hope you can share your presentation. If you need support, please let us know.
Yes, of course. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's really nice to be here with you. I will try to share my screen right now. Can you see it?
Yes, it's loading.
It's okay? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
perfect.
fine.
Let me know. All right, great. Did you see also the sidebar? Can I, or otherwise I can hide it, I think, floating. Is this okay right now?
It's perfectly fine.
Thank you. All right, my name is Evdokimos Fregopoulou. I represent the new metropolitan Attica development company, which is actually a developmental company of the region of Attica, where the capital is Athens. And here we implement and we develop projects with European fundings and other kind of fundings for the development of Attica generally. And today I will present you something, one of my favorite projects, and I will try to combine it, of course, with the culture and creative industries, because we believe that this project will be a perfect place for all the culture and creative industries to grow. And of course, to be a tool of the regional development. So culture is not simply what we preserve from the past, it is what we create for the future. And Europe is entering a new phase where cultural heritage is no longer viewed only as something to protect, but as an asset that can generate innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainable development. This is exactly where creative and cultural industries come into play, and this is how they can change the whole scenery in the creative economy as well. I read an article a couple of weeks ago in skift.com. The title of the article was "The Creative Economy is Upstream of the Tourist Economy Now." And I found a paragraph which I really liked it and I want to share with you, and I quote, "The destinations that will win the next decade are the ones that understand culture is their upstream product, not their marketing asset." The culture is the core of a touristic product. And many visitors tend to love and adopt the culture of a country first, and then they go to the country to visit it. For instance, I really love Japan. I've never been to Japan, but I really love samurais, their philosophy of life, everything. And this makes me keen that I really want to go to Japan in the next years, if it's possible. I also fell in love with the movie The Last Samurai, not Tom Cruise, but the movie. And all these things that actually are creative industry are the things that I believe that they can attract people in a place, and they can give an extension of the cultural heritage of a place. So the CCIs are combine cultural heritage, creativity, innovation, technology, entrepreneurship, and they can transform culture into experiences, products, and economic value while preserving authenticity and local identity. The European Union increasingly recognizes the CCIs as drivers of regional development because they combine all these things. And of course, the key sectors are the design, architecture, film, digital media, gaming, music, performing arts, gastronomy, wine, and cultural tourism and digital experiences. Also, they create jobs and new business opportunities, strengthen local economies and destinations, extend visitors, stay and spending, of course, connect cultural heritage with contemporary life, and deliver authentic and sustainable visitor experiences. And this brings me to Attica. Attica is an ideal example of how creative and cultural industries can transform a region's unique cultural assets into sustainable growth, innovation, and high-value visitor experiences. Attica has a unique advantage. It's not simply a destination. It is one of the world's strongest cultural brands. For decades, many of its cultural assets have been operating separately. Of course, we have Acropolis, the Parthenon, but also we have other things that the classical Athens had them combined. When people think of classical Athens, they think of the Acropolis, but classical Athens was not just the Acropolis. It was also, Acropolis was the management. Acropolis was the place where the decisions were made, but also the Acropolis and the center of Athens also had Piraeus, which was their harbor, and also had Lavrio, which was actually the economic power. It was the dollar of this era, the euro of this era. And also they had Elefsina, where the Elefsina's mysteries were happening, where it was the spiritual place of this ancient world. These three combined are actually the modern storytelling of our region. And for decades, many of its cultural assets have been operating separately. So the challenge is not creating new heritage, but to try reconnect what already exists and reconnect them to the trilogy of Attica, this cultural touristic product that we want to embrace and evolve. The trilogy of Attica is our attempt to reconnect the ecosystem of classical Athens, because it links LFCs, as I told you before, Athens with their harbor, Piraeus, and the Lavrio, together with their landscapes, stories, and communities. It's not just a cultural route, as we say. It is an integrated territorial development program. It's a European funding program. So this European funding program has a holistic aspect of the developmental prospect of a region. The integrated regional development programs can also adopt the infrastructures, but not only the infrastructures, because after the infrastructures, you also need to give life to these infrastructures, promote them, bring people to see these infrastructures. So this kind of program can also adopt fundings from also other kind of European funding programs. And this is really important in this occasion. Through a coordinated set of actions, the program can combine cultural heritage protection, sustainable mobility, digital transformation, destination management, local entrepreneurship, wine and gastronomy experience, community engagement, and of course, place branding and storytelling. So, the Attica trilogy provides the stage for all these industries come along. Creative and cultural industries create the experiences, products, and services that generate the value. I often say that archaeological sites tell stories. Creative industries make people experience those stories. For instance, VR experiences inside ancient sanctuaries, gaming inspired by Athenian democracy, or I don't know if you are familiar with this series of games with Assassin's Creed, where one of the series was called Odyssey, and also, of course, the Odyssey movie that's now playing in theaters. Also, we have, as I said before, film production using Attica landscapes, digital storytelling, creative festivals, wine and gastronomy routes, local design products, creative tourism experiences, destination branding. In this way, culture can become a creative economy. And this is a great place to grow this idea. Cultural heritage, in order to go to the creative economy, so can pass all these steps. The cultural heritage leads to tourism experiences. The tourism experiences adopt and lead to creative and cultural industries, which is leading to local entrepreneurship, to creative economy, and of course, all this can do the regional development to be sustainable. And this aims to create a new ecosystem of collaboration. Also, with this, we also develop here in New Metropolitan Attica a new digital tool. It's called Destination Management System, which actually will be a hyper platform where the digital infrastructure of this platform, we can combine everything inside, not only for the visitor and the tourist and all the people here, but also for the creative industries and the communities to come along and connect with each other. The local businesses as well. Imagine a portal where the visitor can see all the points of interest in Attica, and also the businesses can also do a profile inside and find other kind of businesses inside to collaborate for a general cause. This platform won't be only a tourism platform. It will be a platform which can embrace the creative economy. So it will be able to connect heritage, creative industries, local business communities, and of course, visitors. And all this, we hope that it will help transform isolated cultural assets into an integrated ecosystem of experiences. So the next chapter is to activate all this cultural heritage. Attica, we want to be a European living laboratory of glacial heritage and a creative innovation, and you are all very welcome to aspire to that. The Attica Trilogy aspires to become a new cultural narrative, a platform for creative and cultural industries, a collaborative ecosystem, and a model for sustainable regional development. The future of Attica is not only to preserve its heritage, but to transform it into a living, creative ecosystem. Because through creativity, through technology, through local communities, through partnerships, cultures should not only be remembered, it should create opportunities for the future. And with this phrase, I wanted to end my presentation and to thank you very much for letting me take you through to this magnificent project that will be live in the next months. Thank you very much.
Thank you too for the really inspiring information. I'm pretty sure a lot of questions are going to pop up in the chat and also in the Q&A related to what you said. And if you also want to share contacts, you can also do it in chat. Until then, I will also present our next speaker, which is Mr. Akos. I hope the screen is okay now. Oops. So Mr. Akos is the managing director of the Central Transdanubian Regional Innovation Agency. He's an experienced professional in the management consulting industry with a strong background in research and development, innovation management, entrepreneurship, and strategic planning. His core expertise is in digital business development, cultural and creative industries, and the green economy. Thank you, Akos, for accepting our invitation to be here with us. I will stop the screen now, and if you want to open your mic and join us, it would be great. The floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, I'm Akos. Let me share my screen. Yeah, I hope it's visible. So, good afternoon. I'm Akos Szépvölgyi. I'm from Hungary, and I'm representing the Regional Innovation Agency of Central Transdanubia. And the reason why I'm here is to share our experiences on our creative ecosystem. So, namely, how cultural and creative industry is becoming not the main, but one of the key drivers of the regional development. Yeah, it's not a project, it's rather experiences from different projects on the one hand, and experiences from different collaborations over projects on the other. So I try to summarize the ecosystem as a set of layers. So in our case, we see 4 layers, and of course, each layers are closely connected, and it's a kind of circle. So each one are interconnected to all the others. So we have a strategic layer, which is in our case over the national strategies is the smart specialization, which has a really strong focus on the cultural and creative industries, not as a individual industry, but rather as a cross-cutting sector for the territorial development. Connected to that, we have an enabling layer. It means it's a set of organizations, a set of stakeholders. In our case, they are agencies, universities, funding structures, so not just organizations, but structures, different networks from clusters to wider collaboration. Yeah, and our agency connects here to the ecosystem. We try to act as a kind of hub in this structure. And we have a creative hub layer. I will give you some details now, just indicated some, so all of them are a kind of new spots, kind of activities where the cultural and creative industry happens. And we have some outcome layer, of course, which is covering jobs, identity, sustainable and green regional growth, and so on. In many cases, as of our experience, the identity is a key aspect in this layer. So the first layer, as I told you, is the smart specialization. It prioritizes sectors on the base of growth and innovation potential, and recognizes CCI as a strategic specialization leg, not a side activity. It's really important. That was the first strategy in our region which considered CCI as a strategic pillar of the development. Of course, it's coordinated regionally and integrated across the EU regions. And which is important is that what the strategy layers does for everyone below it. So on the one hand, it's really interesting that it legitimizes CCI, try to unlock funding, not just direct funding, but try to support to accelerate and to get closer funding opportunities to all CCI organizations. And what we see really important is aligning actors. So we try to mobilize their resources and share the capacities and share the knowledge through that. That seems to be running with the experience of running the smart specialization strategy for more than 13 years now. It's a key aspect. Oh, I'm sorry. So who are the enablers? Yeah, I put ourselves, I mean our agency, to the center, not because we are the only actor in the region, but we feel that through this strategy and through our activities, most of the CCI-related approaches and initiatives go through us. So we have quite active public authorities, especially at municipality level. We have a regional government, means here the county level, so not 3 level as Hungary have not 2-level governance, but anyway, over settlement level governance. And we have creative SMEs and startups, designers, makers, media firms, which have significant role in our local economy. And we have universities and research institutions, one main university and some connected branches. And of course, we are really active in EU networks and projects. So Interreg, S3, ED, what we have heard, Innovation Valley, and so on. So we try to somehow connect the regional ecosystem with the European scale. So I told you that we have some creative hubs where the CCI production mostly happens. It's interesting to know that part of our region, so the Veszprém Balaton area, was the capital of culture in Europe in 2023, and this was, and the previous years before that, was a nice opportunity for our region to develop these infrastructures and to develop these hubs. So we have a center of digital experience. It's an immersive media and marketplace, trying to link tech and research. It's really important. It's quite new for our region. We have a Photon, which is an audiovisual center for film and media production. combined with education. So as you see, we always try to connect the CCI with different sectors and different activities. We have the Acticity, which is a dance and movement center. It's combining performing art and training network. And finally, we have one space. It's called Gyárkert. It's a culture park. It's actually a former furniture company's area. So it's a brownfield rehabilitation, and it's connecting or activating the industrial heritage for events and tourism. So these are the main direction what we try to integrate into our regional activities. Oops. Yeah, what the ecosystem produces. I have highlighted the regional identity. It means that the heritage is valorized. So now region is recognized EU level in that, and it's a really great advantage for us, not just for the cultural and creative industry and for the tourism, but it is connected to many industries, not directly, but indirectly. Of course, creative SMEs making jobs, new business models are appearing, so the economic growth is visible in the past 10 years. We see really important to reuse the heritage, so industrial sites originally or historically, our region is a strongly industrial region, and that's what we try to turn into new usage of this heritage. Yeah, at the beginning of this workshop, there was a question on the cross-sectoral innovation. We see it. We see huge importance of connecting culture, tech, research, and tourism. Fortunately, our position and our ecosystem is working with that well. Of course, it's not just CCI, but it's closely connected to green economy on circular models, green transition. This is also built into the smart specialization and the strong identifiable perspective of the region. And finally, the European integration. So projects and partnerships from Horizon to Interact, from Erasmus Plus to I3, and many different schemes are all helping for us to strengthen the role of CCI in our regional development. Yeah, and as a whole system, if we want to see the whole system, we have one regional engine, which is not the CCI on its own, but CCI is a significant element of this one regional engine. We are stronger from an economic perspective with the automotive industry, with the IT, with the plastic industry, and many strong industries. But if we more consider the social perspectives, the equalities, and the enabler sectors, CCI has growing importance in our region. So, yeah, I made a question. You can answer it in yourself or after the meeting. So let's compare ecosystem, which layer is stronger in your region. And of course, we are open to collaborate and learn from each other. So in case you see any connection right now or after the meeting, you know my details and you can reach me. Thank you so much.
Thank you too, Akos. I'm really curious about, you talked about economic growth, but I think actually it's a question. Do you also agree that the CCI impact, economical impact, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to measure? or maybe it's not always put it in the right baskets. If what I'm trying to say, sometimes CCI generate a lot of revenue in tourism, and it's measured in tourism, but not also in CCI. And I'm curious about your opinion, how we can
fully agree with you. So the direct kind of economic impact is very hard to measure. In some cases, yes, you can. We have the CCI companies, they are SME startups, mid-caps even, and the revenue is growing, then it's fine, but it's only, I don't know, small portion of the CCI industry. It's really hard to measure. We more feel that from soft measures, and they are more not having direct kind of revenue or that stuff, but empowering further part of the economy and society. So that's how we see, but fully agree with you that it's at least for us, it's almost impossible not just to measure, but even estimate.
Yes, indeed, that's the truth, but maybe we will take this as a challenge for the future to see how we can measure.
It would be nice to have clearer picture. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much for your intervention. And now we are going to our next speaker, which is Mara Tognon. She's the senior officer at the Veneto region, head of the Office for European and International Projects and Cultural and Creative Industries within the Department of Culture. She has an extensive experience in the management of EU-funded initiatives and cultural development policies. Her core expertise is European funding programs, territorial cooperation projects, cultural and creative industries, cultural policy, and grant management. Thank you, Mara, for joining us today. The floor is yours. You can share your presentation.
Thank you again to inviting me. This really interesting event. I just want to compliment also to the audience, because it's clear that this kind of events are really, really useful and interesting, but not always participated. So my best compliments for this. I'm going to share a presentation. Let me know if you can see it.
It's loading.
Yeah.
Let's wait for a few seconds.
Can you see it now?
Not yet, but should be happening. Now it's perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you so much again. You already know who I am, and I want to say that the title of this event for me is let me say perfect, because we totally consider the cultural and creative industries in our region as a real driver for the development. Sorry, I have this page, but it's not good for me. Okay, I go ahead. I have some issue in turning the page. I'm really sorry about it. I tried to close my cam. Maybe some issue with the line. Can you see? Okay, sorry. So first of all, I would like to give you an overview of where we are and the main characteristics of our region. The Veneto region lies in the north of Italy, is under an economic point of view, one of the general economic driver of our countries, but it's especially full of cultural assets. So we move from natural and cultural assets. We are the region of Italy with a higher number of UNESCO recognized places, and we have also 2 intangible heritage recognitions. Moreover, the region presents a huge number of museums, library, or cultural institutions in general. This, we already talked about it, this represents an attractor for touristic flow, and it works as a kind of brand for our region. It's an obvious, let me say, that with such interesting frame, a lot of cultural industries has developed along the years by bottom-up process, because the regional and later on national policies in support of this sector are really recent. Focusing on the cultural and creative sector, these are the two main data available on the cultural sector. As you can see, the number of industries is more than 23,000, but they are concentrated in the creative part of this sector. The cultural part, that for us is the core business, is characterized by a lower number. One of the reasons of this is that in Italy, the non-profit activities are still ongoing really well. We are not monitored by the national system as economic activities, but in truth, as you know, and the European region recognized too, the non-profit sector play a really important role, especially for the second grid that refers to the employment in the sector. So for us, as I said at the beginning, the cultural and creative industries, for sure, it's a driver of regional production, because 6% of employment is given by this sector and is not fully mapped. So for us, this is important since the last 20 years. We started in 20 years ago on working on this topic in several ways. So we are trying to create a so-called ecosystem of in which sector. We have several tools to do it. The first one is that after a long period, we are able to insert the topic of cultural industries into a regional law. This is really important, because being inserted in a law, in a regulation, formally recognize the importance of a sector. It's one of the first regions in Italy that have done it, and the national level did it just a couple of years ago, just to give you an idea of how we are working in this frame. The European structural funds is playing a really important job, because thanks to this important budget, we're able to support also economically this sector. Without this funds, it would be really difficult for us working in this sector. I think that one of the main reasons is given, sorry, I'm a little bit out of a presentation, is going on the issue you were talking before. That means the measurement of the impact of the cultural and creative system in the social and economic level. So I would like to reply to your question. This is something really difficult to do also in Italy, especially in Italy. We tried a couple of times to propose it to European Commission and European Parliament, because we are facing difficulties in find out useful data, useful indicators for this measurement. Part of them lies on the tourism indicators that are not always adapted or adapt to it. Several times we use just the economic one, for instance, the two data that I show you, but these data are not sufficient, and they are not adapted to explain the sector. So if you think you are going to work also on the creation of new indicators, elaboration of new indicators available at the European level, for us this is a really important topic. Moreover, we work on European projects, and culture and creativities since the last free access strategies became one on the field of action for the regional innovation. So we have seven different priorities, focuses on this field, and we always have a multi-sectoral approach. Especially in the previous programming period, we worked a lot in projects that combine traditional industries with cultural and creative industries. We work not only with tourism, that seems to be the more adapted sector to cooperate, but we work with handcraft. We are still working with craftsmen. We worked with agriculture and other sectors, and we push our beneficiaries, our stakeholders, to look around to other sector to find out development possibilities. As a regional government, we try to be in the middle. So we try to be a node between national and local level, but at the same time to European and local level. By promoting the opportunities given by national and European level, but also by supporting the participation of call for proposals or the participation on survey that contribute to the creation of cultural and creative policies. Moreover, due to this problem in support concretely by a budget, the industries, apart from the European Structural Fund, we try to keep open a permanent dialogue with our stakeholders. In this image, you have a few of the main stakeholders we are always in contact with. So you can find from the Chamber of Commerce in Veneto area, we have 5 chambers of commerce. With the Veneto Film Commission that is in charge of the audiovisual sector since 2018. We have a regional one. Before we had several local film commission. We work obviously with universities and the spin-off, with trade association. We work for sure with cluster, and Venetian cluster that is part of this project is one of our main stakeholders that cooperate with us, participating in several panels to discuss the priority and the topics. And it's not written here, but we are working to improve this. We are trying to create a permanent connection also with the part of no profit of cultural stakeholders, because as I said, they play a really important role in the economic development of the region. So they are definitely part of a system. So what's going on right here in our region? As I told you, we are really engaged in the management of the structural funds. So in this current period, we manage about 13 million euros in supporting of CCIs. And if there are Veneto industries connecting, please stay tuned, because the last 2 call for proposal are going to be opened, one for the development and one for the creation of CCIs. Moreover, we have a small over the 30 million euros. There's a mistake in my presentation. We have other 18 million euros invested in a specific subsector of the cultural industries, that is the audiovisual production. In this case, the audiovisual production for us is a strategic asset, because it permits not only to promote the culture and the landscape of our area in terms of touristic attraction, but also to involve several other sectors connected in the production, that moves from the technician of the sector to other companies based on different sectors of the regional economy that can can have a benefit in this collaboration. Moreover, starting from the current programming period, also the European Social Fund work a lot in the skill improvement of the sector. This is for the Veneto region that lie in the north part of Italy. For the region who are in the south part of Italy, they can count also on the cohesion funds that has a specific line for culture development. As moreover, we take part in European projects. You have a few examples of some projects who are running right now, where Veneto region is directly involved to promote or create the cultural development, the definition of cultural strategies, but also to make some text activities. To face the problem in data for measure the impact of a sector, we decided that testing concretely what the cultural industries can produce by pilot action can be a useful way to present, explain to our politicians the role of this sector. In our project, like RE.EU or France CCI, we act as associated partner, because in this way we can monitor the improvement of these strategies also by other local stakeholders. We can be updated on what is going on directly by participating in a project, and we can also give advices to be sure that these projects go in the right direction and are in line with the development foreseen by the politician side of a topic. As I said before, Veneto region was one of the first region to insert in a regulation, in a formal regulation, a regional law, the cultural and creative system. I explain you the importance of this. The regional ministries, Ministry for not for culture, but for Made in Italy, that is a new ministry of our government, decided to do the same. So when they elaborated a law to valorize the brand of Made in Italy formally as something really recognizable, but checked by a specific kind of elements or criteria, we decided also to specify the role of cultural and creative industries in the Made in Italy system. And they also decided to invest an annual budget to support this sector. This is just a testing phase, so the amount is low, but if for the Italian cultural industries who are attending this meeting, this could be an interesting opportunity. So I think that's all, yeah. That's all for my presentation. Just let me say that I take some note from the previous speech, and what for me was really interesting, apart from the measurement we talked about a few minutes ago, was about the speech of our colleague from Greece, because we totally agree with their method of matching together several aspects of the culture. And especially I interrupt my sharing, especially we're working to move from the sustainability to a regenerative approach and to a development regenerative approach, in order to be not only to preserve what is already available in our area, but to work to improve it in the right way. Otherwise, the system can create a mismatch with the other policies.
Thank you a lot, Mara. It was really interesting, and for sure your help is really needed, and I hope a lot of regions take the example of your work. Also, just a small insight of our project. There were 302 applications for innovative projects, from which around 70, if I'm not mistaken, are from Italy. Don't know how many of them from Veneto region, but it's interesting to see how this activity is happening there, and it's for sure inspiring. And also in our project, the CR.EU.IN Heritage project, we are also doing a mapping on scenarios on how CCIs are going to look in 2050. Let's hope the study we are conducting right now is going to provide important data for all of us, so we can for sure work together and make the policy of CCIs in Europe as much as possible suitable for everything that is going to happen. But we still have one more speaker, and last but not least, I need to introduce you now to Maria Teresa Dalbo, which she is a digital curator and cultural designer at the Italian Ministry of Culture. She's working at the Regional Directorate of National Museums of Veneto, and she's specialized in participatory cultural design, digital innovation, and public engagement strategies for cultural heritage institutions. Her core expertise is in digital curation, participatory cultural design, cultural heritage innovation, and audience engagement. And I want to thank you, Maria, for being today with us. The floor is yours, and we cannot wait to see what you prepared for us.
Thank you very much. Could you hear me? Yes. Good afternoon. And well, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to take part in this event and for the opportunity to share some reflections on the role that public museum systems can play in connecting cultural heritage, technologies, and creativity to build territorial ecosystems, as we heard also from the previous speakers. I will speak from the perspective of the Italian National Museums of the Ministry of Culture, and more specifically from the context of the Regional Directorate of National Museums in Veneto. Museums today are increasingly called to become spaces for participation, experimentation, and shared knowledge. This is also the perspective from which our projects start. So I would like to start from a word we often use, innovation. In the field of cultural heritage, innovation does not simply mean introducing a new technology. It does not only mean digitizing a collection or developing a platform or creating an app or using artificial intelligence. All these things can be very important, but they are not enough. For cultural institutions, innovation means, above all, transforming the way in which heritage enters into relationship with the people, with territories, and with the questions of the present, and with the possibilities of the future. Technology truly becomes cultural innovation when it makes it possible to create new relationships between different forms of heritage, for example, between museums and communities, between physical places and digital environments, between scientific research and creativity, between memory and imagination, between public institutions and private enterprises. In this sense, museums, archives, libraries are not only places of conservation, they are cultural infrastructures. This is particularly important for a regional directorate of museums, which is not simply an administrative network of museums, but a public cultural system rooted in different territories. It is a public actor operating within a complex territory made up of cities, landscapes, schools, universities, associations, local communities, creative economies, businesses, and also memories and transformations. Its role is primarily to bring these elements together, creating opportunities for collaboration and co-design. This is the magic word. So I would like to start with digital heritage. In recent years, the Italian Ministry of Culture has launched a very important process through the National Plan for the Digitization of Cultural Heritage, the Digital Library, and ECOMIC, the Digital Ecosystem for Culture. I think that you received, I copy here the link, the file, well, a comic, but also I attach here the file for a useful link. Okay. Okay. Okay, I send you some useful links, so it could be interesting. And well, a comic is the most important outcome of the effort made possible by the Italian National Recovery and Resilience Plan, PNR in Italian, or NRP, during the post-COVID period. This is a strategic step because digitization is not only the production of images, records, metadata, or online archives. It is the construction of an infrastructure that can make heritage more accessible, more connected, more interoperable, and more reusable. This is a fundamental point for technological and creative enterprises. Cultural data are not just data. They are layered, contextual, interpreted data. An artwork, an archaeological object, a document, a photograph, a recording, a digital archive are never neutral objects. They carry with them histories, provenances, classifications, scientific choices, memories, gaps, conflicts, and relationships. For this reason, working with the cultural heritage, not only digital heritage, requires attention. It requires technical skills, but also cultural, ethical, and methodological awareness. Especially today, with artificial intelligence and generative tools, we must ask ourselves not only what we can produce from data, but also what interpretations we are generating, what context we are preserving, what errors and biases we may amplify, and which voices we risk leaving out. I go on because you have the links for further lectures and many examples, reference Urbana and the new data centers of digital common European data space for cultural heritage. That is a new important reference. So the second point concerns the museum as an environment for participation and co-creation. Very often, the museum is thought of as a place where the public enters, visits, observes, listens, and learns. This function remains essential, but the museums are also called upon to become environments where people can participate more actively, not only by receiving content, but also by contributing to the construction of meaning. This does not mean giving up scientific or curatorial responsibility. On the contrary, it means strengthening it by bringing in different perspectives. Cultural participation is planned, designed, guided, documented process. It requires methods, care, listening, mediation, and the ability to create safe and meaningful space. It is not about simplifying the museum's role, but about opening up new meanings. In this way, participation can broaden the curatorial vision while preserving the museum's voice as one voice among many possible voices. Here, cultural and creative industries can make a decisive contribution. Artists, designers, developers, cultural mediators, accessibility experts, service designers, storytellers, digital interaction professionals can help museums build experiences in which heritage becomes living matter, something that can be questioned, reinterpreted, and connected with people's experiences. For a museum, this means asking, how can we design experiences that are not only spectacular but meaningful? How can we use technologies, many technologies to create concrete and physical participation and to transform the places in which we live? How can we involve young people, schools, local communities, vulnerable groups, creative professionals, and researchers, not only as recipients, but as active subjects? In this sense, creativity should not be considered a decorative element. It's not something that arrives at the end to make already defined content more attractive. Creativity can be a method of knowledge and research. For enterprises, this means that the museum is not only a place where a solution can be installed. It can become a laboratory for research and development, a context in which to test tools, languages, interfaces, participation models, forms of accessibility, and new ways of producing public value. I believe this is one of the most difficult and important challenges that cultural institutions must learn to propose, activate, and manage. For this reason, it's not possible to work in isolation. So the third point concerns the territory. The territory is first and foremost a space of life. It's made of people, relationships, services, schools, businesses, landscapes, but also desires, conflicts, and possibilities. A museum situated in a territory does not only preserve objects, it preserves and activates relationships. It can connect the history of the place with contemporary transformations. It can bring different generations into dialogue. It can help a community recognize what has been forgotten, excluded from museum narratives. It can open up questions about the future. In this sense, the challenge is not only to bring more visitors into museums, but to move the museum beyond an isolated logic. We need to build cultural ecosystems in which national institutions, regions, municipalities, universities, schools, business associations, communities can design together. Cultural innovation does not concern only the major museum and the great art city. It also concerns polycentric territories, less visible places, networks of small museums, local archives, civic libraries, local creative communities, and civic, public, and private spaces. In this context, technologies can help connect what is fragmented, build pathways between physical places and the digital environment, and also create new forms of access and cultural participation. In Veneto, this perspective is particularly relevant. The regional territory, as we have heard, is rich in cultural heritage, museums, universities, archives, libraries, businesses, creative and technological skills. But richness alone is not enough. It needs connections. It needs projects capable of crossing the boundaries between institutions, disciplines, and professional sectors. I would now to add 4 lines of reflection, which concern design, culture, craft knowledge, and traditions of making. When we speak about creativity applied to cultural heritage, we should not think only of technologies, digital technologies, or immersive tools. There is another equally important dimension, which concerns design, materials, techniques, craft knowledge, and skills rooted in local territories. As we know, cultural heritage is preserved not only in objects, artworks and monuments, but also in gestures, processes, skills, traditions of making. In this direction, you will find in the file I have attached two interesting example. One is a Made in MIC, an initiative promoted by the Italian Ministry of Culture, and together with the Made in Italy, that is another ministry for that work for the design and the contemporary culture. So this is promoted by the new Institute of Promotion and Enhancement of Cultural Heritage, Made in MIC, and also the museum, Il Museo Rigenera, the Museums Regenerates, promoted by the Directorate General for Contemporary Creativity of the Italian Ministry of Culture, where the museum is considered a place capable of activating processes of regeneration through contemporary creativity. Another, the last one, important theme is about the relationship between culture, creativity, health, and well-being. Scientific research is showing with increasing clarity that the arts, cultural participation, and creativity can contribute to personal and collective well-being. For museums, it does mean recognizing that cultural experience can counter isolation, fragility, relational impoverishment, and exclusion. It can create belonging, listening, expression, and trust. Here too, technologies can help, but only if they are conceived within human processes. Technology so must serve as a relationship and not replace it. So now I would like to move towards the conclusion with an invitation addressed above to all enterprises. Cultural heritage is not only a field in which to apply ready-made technologies. It is a complex and dynamic field of research and development because it is connected to the rapid transformations taking place in society, in way of living, behaving, and relating to one another. It is an environment in which it is possible to experiment with new forms of access, interpretation, participation, responsible artificial intelligence, data visualization, co-creation, education, and well-being. And all these lies at the basis of territorial development through culture and creativity. But in order to truly work with the cultural heritage, we need to change our approach. Cultural institutions do not only need suppliers, they need partners capable of listening to the complexity of contexts, of working with sensitive and layered data, of respecting public responsibilities, of designing sustainable, accessible, interoperable, and open tools. Partners capable of entering into processes and helping with this transformation also within cultural institutions themselves, through new processes of capacity building and creation of new skills. At the same time, cultural institutions must learn to work in more ecosystemic way. They must move beyond the logic of silos, build transdisciplinary groups, engage with different skills, and involve enterprises and creative professionals from the earliest stages of project design. They must learn to define problems together, not only to purchase technological solutions. So I would therefore like to conclude with this message. Cultural heritage is not a market for ready-made technologies, but a complex environment for research, co-design, and the development of public value. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you too, Maria. It's really interesting and inspiring what you said. We also have a question inside the chat related to the ecosystem that you presented. And
Yes.
the question is, does this ecosystem comprise also private and rural museums and archives, or only those under the tutelage of the Ministry of Culture?
No, every public, private, civic, every kind of of cultural institutions. So not only museums, but archives and libraries, of course, in connection with other platforms that you will find in the file. First of all, Europeana and many other platforms, international platforms.
Thank you very much. Really interesting and inspiring, as I said. And we come to the last part of our session. If you want to address questions right now to all of our speakers, you can do it. I watched the chat and no other questions popped out. At least I didn't see it. Please help me out if I missed something. We see from Fabio, you asked for sustainability, yet at the same time you push for AI to be implemented everywhere, a technology well known for its energy and water consumption. Indeed, Fabio, I think we all have this challenge to push AI everywhere, but we also ask for sustainability. I think right now the AI, it's changing the rules, and we also should adapt our policies and not only based on that. But this is my opinion. Of course, if everyone or someone else wants to interfere, or if you have other questions for our speakers, it's okay, Fabio. It's I think we are all friends here, and we can be also direct. AI is changing us a lot, indeed. Okay, so a storm discussion related to AI is going to pop up in the chat. I can feel it, but until we address it, are there any other questions to our speakers? So we will wait for 1 minute. If nothing comes up, then we will close our session for today.
I think we have some questions in the chat, but also to remind you that if you'd like to speak, you can also open your mic now in order to have a conversation. But you are always pleased to write in the chat.
So looks like a lot of information for today. We will share also the video for this session all together with other videos for all the webinars and etc. And it's going to happen very soon. There is a question in the chat. Do you have any advice on how to contact and involve a museum in our project? I think it's for Maria, right? The question, Remy? Or not only?
Not only, yes.
Okay.
Well, we are participating to the matchmaking making event. So you will find all the references in the platform.
So you just need to subscribe to the matchmaking platform and ask for a meeting with Maria or her colleagues, and you can find out more details how to get involved with the museum in your project. Apostolos, yes. So all presenters today will be on the matchmaking platform. Most of them, yes. And you can search for them and invite them to have a meeting with them directly. Thank you for everybody for the participation and also for being proactive. And also a big thank you for our speakers today that shared a lot of knowledge. Apostolos, if you have questions related to matchmaking, you can address it in a chat, but you can also write to our email address and we will contact you directly on your to answer your question. Thank you a lot again. I hope you enjoyed this session. Don't forget the matchmaking, it's happening very soon, 21st. It's the first day, right, Katerina? Can you confirm, please?
Yes, it's from Monday to Friday next week, so we're waiting for you there.
So you can get in touch also with our speakers from today's session, but also with other professionals and SMEs that can help you out increase your projects. And why not look for new partners, because the step 2 application is coming really, really fast. Again, thank you, and was a pleasure to be your moderator today together with Katerina. And see you very soon on our new session related to matchmaking. Goodbye and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Martin. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, see you.